Emily D. Simone, and I am your host. Thank you so much for joining us for the 24th Annual Garden State Film Festival. This year we have over 200 films and film-centered events from various countries, all happening across 9 venues from March 26th to the 29th this year. Joining me today are author, artist, director, writer, producer, and key cast member Patricia A. Maloney, and film direction and footage Danny Sanchez of the Cinema for the Ears, a musical storybook, Top of the Mountain. Patricia, Danny, thank you so much for joining me today, and congratulations on your piece being accepted into the Garden State Film Festival.
Thank you. You could call me Patty, or you could call
Patty.
me Maloney, but Patricia,
Sure.
it's kind of
Sure.
pretty formal.
Patty, no worries. Well, for the both of you, what inspired the writing for this piece?
Okay. It's a long story. I've been a writer since the age of 11 when my mother passed away. My father drank himself to death within 10 years of her passing, and he was 45 at the time that he died. So I started writing, and then when I was in high school, or junior high school, I became friends with a musician who was like my rock. And I started putting music behind my lyrics, and nobody else could sing them. And so I started singing. So this is a lifetime process of all the songs, or putting it all together, because I found in the music, I found a whole community, and I found my mother.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's a musical storybook, and I'm in long-term recovery, a person in long-term recovery. So what inspired this is during, my sister died by suicide, and my cousin died 7 months later by suicide. And at that time, I couldn't balance all this. I just adopted a little girl, and she was a year not old. And so I said a prayer before all this happened. A prayer. God, please take away anything that stands in the way of me and you, because I felt like I wasn't connected.
Yeah.
I was feeling a lot dry, not connected to life. And everything was taken away. Karen died, Sean died 7 months later. I found myself homeless with this child for 19 months. I moved 5 times in 19 months. And what happened was my recovery community came to my aid, and the musicians that I grew up with, they said, Maloney, come down to DJ's Home. Was a band that I sung with back in the day. They said, Maloney, come down to DJ's and play with us on Monday nights, and you'll feel better. And so the only time that I had to do music. And I also started writing for a Shakespearean theater company up in upstate New York. My longtime songwriting partner, John DiNicola, won the Academy Award for co-writing the songs in Dirty Dancing. And so he called me up and he says, my kid's in this Shakespearean group, can you write lyrics? And I processed all my friggin' grief through writing writing those stories of Shakespeare, and I found myself in all that art and literature. Needless to say, moved 10 years fast forward, or maybe this was a long time ago. I have a home now, and another musician friend of mine, a longtime musician friend of mine, introduced me to Danny Sanchez, who also is here. And Danny is a talented photographer and filmmaker, and he's a rock star. And he goes, I heard that, and my friend called me up and he said, Danny's wife passed by suicide. Can you, maybe go befriend him, and we could become really good friends. And so I looked and I said, no, there's too much grief there. I don't want to meet him. But then another friend of mine, we have 435 same friends on Facebook. I'm saying, what the hell is this about? And so a friend of mine encouraged me to go down and meet him. And so we started hanging out. He showed me a film that was made in honor of his wife. And we hung out, and then eventually we started to date, and eventually we started making these films together. I had another thing, and well, I did that alone, but Danny had a piece in the Garden State Film Festival last year called Babyface, which was hysterical. And then I had Cinema for the Ears, a story about from my musical storybook, Embraceable You, about me going to the singing for the seniors at the assisted living, and how music transported this one
No,
person, this
train.
one. What?
This train is what we did together at first.
Oh no, but this I'm talking about just the story about music. But we did this train too. Danny shot that, and my friend's daughter and another friend of mine, Fortune Petrie, and Mia Petrie, and Michelle Petrie is the mom, but Mia starred in that video. That was part of this collection of songs. So this is the first excerpt from the musical storybook. It's 7 minutes long, and it has art because Danny introduced me to Yulia, who is amazing, and she just read my mind. She made the artistry, the illustration come to life. She edited. And the song that is featured in this was written in 1991, and it's kind of like it prophesies things to come. Because I found myself homeless. I found myself, back on welfare, having the health care for the children living there. I wasn't on welfare, but I was pretty rough. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And it's not a thing about disaster. It's about how art can save lives.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for sharing something so deep and so close. Like sometimes people don't always feel so open to talking about their personal traumas in their lives and the things that aren't happy. And I can just tell that you are someone that wants to share to heal. So thank you for sharing your story. Danny, how about you? Like what is a musical storybook Top of the Mountain for you? Like how does it speak to you in your production of it?
Well, I was never familiar with like storybook type project like this. I just listened to the music, and first of all, I wanted to help her with her with this project and the things that she was pursuing as far as creativity and her music, which I liked a lot. So I listened to the music and I thought about visuals for it, and we worked together on that. And I mean, I wanted her to be in some of these, and
I didn't want to. I did not want to show my face in this.
I wanted her to be in this train, and she was very adamant about it, not wanting to be in it. And I said, okay, I think having the human element in this would be would tell the story a little bit better, maybe. But and then I thought about, well, what if it's you in at another time in the early days when you're trying to get your life on track, on the right track. Get it? This train tracks, whatever. But and then she mentioned her friend's daughter. I think it was about 15 years old, and I said that'll be great. Let's. I was excited to do that because I thought that would be a good idea. And she turned out to be pretty amazing because I had met this person. I had no idea what she was going to be like to shoot. We had her mother come with us. We were going to catch a train from Red Bank to Perth Amboy, and then turn around and come back. So I had that little bit of a train ride to capture images of her.
But let's talk about Top of the Mountain, honey, how I didn't want to be in it, and I'm like a ghost in this, looking back on my life. Yeah. And I really just didn't. I thought nobody would want to look at me at this stage of my life. Yeah, there's no, and he, because he suggested it, and I said I have to get over my freaking self already,
Yeah.
and just be in it and live into my greatness, no matter what age I am. Because there's the thing about ageism. I'm older now. I still fit the dress, but I'm not called to be on stage
Well,
as much as I used
Well,
to.
you fit the dress, and that's why you did it. Because
Yeah, I fit the dress.
no, but
No,
seriously, I think
and we actually filmed that in Monmouth Beach on top of the rocks, right, Danny?
yeah. Well,
A lot of that footage.
I often say, people say, "Oh, I got these lines in my face," blah blah blah. I says, "Well, just learn to wear them well, and that'll work. That's what you need to do."
Mhm.
And so it was great that she did that, and um,
And Yulia edited greatly, and
and yeah,
her illustrations are
yeah,
awesome. It brings it all
yeah,
together.
Yulia
And
is
this
an amazing artist herself.
and Plinky, he helped me with. I've been working with him forever. He's a Dove Award winning producer, and he's like my lifelong friend. And we just crack up when I go into the studio and we cut and edit these parts. It's just amazing. So this song in particular is more important than anything I think about myself, because I really want to use it to help people. I've spoken at mental health conferences, behavioral health conferences, recovery conferences. As soon as my sister died, I think 6 months later, I was on the board for the local LACADA, which is a local recovery board in Middlesex County. I chaired that for 4 years, and I've been an advocate on long-term recovery, no matter what ism it is, eating disorder, uh, you know, ageism, drugs, alcohol, grief, unbearable grief, all of the isms. This musical storybook covers it all, because I've been to hell and back, so I don't want to go back to hell. I want to live light now.
Well, it seems like you've really taken the hard parts and you have strengthened yourself. You are a beautiful woman, Patty. You are in a home. You should be very proud of yourself for the accomplishments that you have made. If anything in your past looks like it's not something you wanted to be there, it was just something that helped push you into where you are today. So don't shy away from anything that has ever been.
I'm not. Believe me, I got to rewrite my story with the music. I mean, look at it. I'm with Danny Sanchez now. What the hell?
So where does a musical storybook, Top of the Mountain, fall for you amongst your journey as a filmmaker?
You talking to me?
This is
Yeah.
Oh, what was the question?
Like, where does a musical storybook, Top of the Mountain, fall for you in your journey as a filmmaker?
Well, it's a collaboration, of course,
Mhm.
and it is involved in helping others.
Mhm.
So I'm there for that in any way that I can. So if I'm asked, "Hey, I want you to help me with this," I'll listen. Well, the first thing is like, how can I help? And
Mhm.
when it comes to composition, that kind of creativity, whether it's photography and film, I don't consider myself a great filmmaker or anything like that, but I do like, I, I do like when I do have the opportunity to do something like that. I'm going to jump on it. I mean, I have my own mission as well. I have a website in honor of my ex-wife uh, called
She's
Mary's
not
Garden.
your deceased wife. She's not your ex-wife. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm not used to that.
Mary's Garden Media. He has his own nonprofit.
I'm not used. I'm not used to saying that, but
Yeah.
yeah. So it's in relationship to what I'm going through as well. That's how me and Patty met, and so I'm just a part of that world to be supportive of artists and who are doing projects like this. I may not understand it completely when she mentions Shakespeare. I don't really. I mean, I heard of the name, but I don't really know much about it. You know.
Well, thank you both so much for joining me today. It has been such a pleasure. Will I be meeting you both in person at the festival?
Okay.
In person.
Yeah, we'll be
Fabulous. Well, for our live viewers, a musical storybook, Top of the Mountain, will be screening on Saturday, March 28th at the Cranford or the ballroom in the Berkeley Continental from 11 a.m. to 11:45 a.m. block. We hope to see you at the Garden State Film Festival this year with over 200 films screening across 9 venues, including hosting parties, panels, events, and more. Get your tickets at gsff.org/tickets. Danny, Patty, thank you so much again for joining me today. I look forward to meeting you in March.
Okay.
Thank you.